This is the first poem I wrote. About 2-ish years ago now. I think a lot of people deal with anxiety, and a lot of people have an interesting relationship with their house and their space, because their safe space sometimes becomes toxic and sometimes you don't feel like you can own it, etc. So I wrote this poem to kind of explain that a little bit. It's a strange thing, this little house with tiny doors and rough wooden floors. This mini house with little space to place the things I need to. The walls are high, but the nooks are slight, not built for the purpose of my purpose. Tight corridors contract, and flat-pack racks hold the worries they were not designed for. Sometimes this small house gets smaller. Each sigh of this old house breathes and draws the edges in. Compacting the compacted. Narrow panels get narrower. Space gets tighter until you are the one who can't breathe any longer. Stalking the halls shrinks the stubbing toes on closed corners, stumbling over feet too few in their inches, curling the spine of my back until my own shoulders snap back against the banisters, leaving imprints over scars over birthmarks. Fault lines in the making. Ribs pressing against walls, cracking the plaster, imprinting on stretched skin. This little house is not big. This little house is not built for humans to live in. Safe as houses is not safe anymore. Not to house the landscape of a mind and the slopes of a soul so much more expansive than its blueprints. So draw off the edges and colour over the lines of this strange little house. I will not accept the limitation on my breath, even if it means these foundations crumble. This house may shift and mould, but I do too. I grow with every second I live here. It is not my cracked ribs that are the problem, little house. Don't enclose my mind with minimalistic designs of disillusioned space. Don't trick the light to reflect in mirrors only to soothe the ego of self-seclusion. Don't lock the doors and scuff the floors, because this house is only going to get smaller. I am the architect.